Telltale signs of a terror attack that targeted a Shiite mosque in Pakistan's capital, Islamabad. A suicide bomber blew himself up after he was stopped at the mosque's gate. 31 people were killed and 169 wounded as worshippers gathered for Friday prayers. This was the deadliest terror attack in Islamabad since the 2008 Marriott hotel bombing, killed in a suicide truck bomb blast that destroyed part of the five-star hotel. So, why is terrorism surging in Pakistan? Is the snake of terrorism biting the hand that fed it? Is Pakistan paying the price of its dual game of running with the hare and hunting with the hounds? Does the world community realize that Pakistan is the fountainhead of terrorism? And is enough being done to crack down on the enablers of terrorism in Pakistan? Let's connect the dots. Eyewitnesses and those who escaped with injuries described the February 6 terror attack.
We heard gunfire, and while we were still in the bowing position, an explosion occurred. Debris fell from the roof, and windows were shattered. When I got outside, many bodies were scattered. The explosion was extremely powerful and caused numerous casualties. I remained unharmed, but my friend was injured and is currently admitted to the hospital. Many people lost their lives. While we were praying, gunfire erupted first, and within minutes, an explosion occurred.
At first, there was gunfire, 5, 6 fires. Then there was a silence. After 15, 20 seconds, there was an explosion. Chaos took place after the blast. People were running here and there. I did not feel I was hit because my back became numb. I came to know later that my back was hit as I came out.
Tearful mourners gathered at locations across Islamabad to bury the dead, grieving and demanding justice.
Our demand is only that the murderers be brought before the public and taken to their rightful punishment. For the past 40 years, we have been looking for our murderers, and no murderers have been punished in this country.
These are Islamic countries. Pakistan was made in the name of Islam. Pakistan was made for peace, not for oppression. Therefore, the government must fulfill its responsibility and carry out merciless operation against these terrorists and their masterminds.
So, who was behind the terror attack? Well, Pakistani police sources link a foreign national, possibly an Afghan, to Fitna al-Kharaj, which is the Pakistani official code term for TTP, based on initial evidence like his actions of firing before detonating at the gate. ISIS claimed responsibility via telegram posts. It shared the attacker's obscured photo and praised the anti-Shia strike. This matches their pattern of sectarian attacks against Shia Muslims. Pakistan is a Sunni majority nation, but Shiites make up between 10 and 15% of the population. They have been targeted in attacks throughout the region in the past. The attack comes as Pakistan's security forces battle intensifying insurgencies in its southern and northern provinces that border Afghanistan. The last major attack in Islamabad was in November when a suicide blast outside a court killed 12 people and wounded dozens. It was the first major terror attack in Islamabad in nearly 3 years. In Balochistan in the southwest, attacks claimed by separatist insurgents in January end killed 36 civilians and 22 security personnel. They prompted a wave of counter operations in which authorities said almost 200 militants were killed. The surge in terrorism in Pakistan is borne out in statistics too. As per Pakistan Institute for Peace Studies or PIP's annual security report released in early 2026, Pakistan recorded 699 terrorist attacks in 2025. That was a 34% increase from 2024. Over 95% of the attacks were concentrated in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, where there were 413 incidents, up 40%, and in Balochistan, where there were 245 incidents, up 26%. In fact, terrorism in Pakistan has surged to the world's second highest level as per the Global Terrorism Index or GTI 2025. In 2025, 65% of the total attacks in Pakistan were carried out by religiously motivated groups, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan or TTP and its affiliates, Hafiz Gul Bahadur Group, Lashkar-e-Islam and Islamic State Khorasan. As per PIPS, a non-partisan Pakistani think tank, there has been a TTP resurgence trend post-2021 Afghan Taliban takeover, and Pakistani security forces neutralized 1,313 terrorists all across Pakistan in 2025. So is the state of Pakistan responsible for what is happening inside Pakistan? Yes, it surely is. Terrorism in Pakistan exemplifies a Frankenstein monster, initially nurtured through state-backed proxies, but now ravaging its creators' stability and economy. Pakistan's spy agency, Inter-Services Intelligence or ISI, supported Mujahideens in the 1980s Afghan-Soviet War and helped birth the Afghan Taliban. ISI channeled funds, weapons and training to Mujahideens via Operation Cyclone. It armed 16,000 to 18,000 fighters annually by 1986, thus laying the groundwork for radical networks. Since the late 1980s, the ISI actively supported and sponsored infiltration of terrorists from Pakistan into Kashmir in India. It has been training and equipping mercenaries as state policy. ISI fostered groups like Lashkar-e-Taiba or LET and precursors to Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan or TTP. This proxy war has become the core of Pakistan's anti-India strategy. In September 2001 came the 9/11 terror attacks on World Trade Center's Twin Towers in New York. Pakistan's links to 9/11 centered on its pre-attack and post-attack support for the Taliban regime in Afghanistan, which sheltered Al-Qaeda, whose operatives carried out the attacks. Post 9/11, Pakistan was under pressure from the US to crack down on terrorists on its soil, but it resorted to selective crackdowns. It captured key Al-Qaeda figures like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in 2003, but shielded Taliban networks in tribal areas as strategic assets against India. But this strategy backfired. Surviving fighters formed TTP, turning ISI-nurtured jihadists against Pakistan. ISKP, which has been linked to the February 6 terror attack in Islamabad, shares common roots with TTP, as ISKP was formed in 2015 from TTP defectors. This self-inflicted damage has meant a heavy economic cost for Pakistan. Pakistan's terrorism-related losses since 2001 exceed $100 billion. That is the cost of infrastructure destroyed, lost GDP growth, decline in FDI, tourism and trade. BLA routinely strikes China-Pakistan Economic Corridor or CPEC projects that extensively run through Balochistan. It flags extraction of the region's resources like gas and minerals that enrich outsiders while locals live in poverty. Pakistan has a dual approach towards terrorism. While it funds and equips anti-India terrorists, it targets only those terrorists that are up against the Pakistani state. As far as financing for Pakistan-based anti-India terror groups is concerned, urban facilitators and FATF grey list lapses sustain financing for Pakistan's proxy war against India. Remember, Pakistan was removed from the FATF grey list on 21st October 2022. After delisting Pakistan from its grey list, FATF had warned immediately that exit does not give immunity and countries must sustain reforms, with Pakistan kept under Asia-Pacific Group follow-ups. But analysts say, while grey list pressure had forced short-term crackdowns, removal eroded compliance incentives. Pakistan's duplicitous approach is further exposed by reports of Pakistani state-sponsored anti-India terror group Jaish-e-Mohammed using digital wallets like Easy Paisa, Sada Pay for fundraising after Indian strikes destroyed its major camps. JEM's e-wallets rotate every 3 to 4 months and funds are split into small transfers to dodge FATF tracking. JEM raises more than 100 crore Pakistani rupees every year. This highlights how evasion tactics are exploiting lax oversight post-2022 FATF delisting. Incomplete prosecution of UN-designated terrorists in Pakistan and vetoing of sanctions by Pakistan's UNSC friend, like in the case of Lashkar-e-Taiba's second-in-command and Hafiz Saeed's son Talha Saeed, not just continue to undermine Pakistan's credibility in the eyes of the world, but also expose its continued complicity with terror groups. So to sum it up, states sowing jihadist seeds inevitably reap domestic apocalypse. Pakistan is living proof. Thailand has just gone through national elections, and once again, the big question is not just who won, but whether the result can finally bring political stability to the country, because Thailand has struggled with it for years. Governments have come and gone. Prime ministers have been removed by courts and coups, and voters have often felt that elections do not always lead to clear outcomes. But this election has produced a result that looks more decisive than many expected. Thailand's ruling Bhum Jai Thai party scored a decisive victory at last weekend's general elections, routing progressive and populist parties and putting its leader Anutin Charnvirakul in a strong position to become the first prime minister in 20 years to be voted back into office. Early vote counting showed Bhum Jai Thai grabbing and retaining a sizable lead, even though opinion polls before election day had favoured the Liberal People's Party. As results became clearer, leaders of both the People's Party and once dominant Pheu Thai party conceded early. The scale of Bhum Jai Thai's win surprised many observers. The party expanded its footprint in southern Thailand and made major gains in the vote-rich northeast. This is the region that had been dominated for nearly 20 years by parties linked to the billionaire Shinawatra family. More than 50 political parties contested this election, but only 3, Bhum Jai Thai, the People's Party and Pheu Thai, have the nationwide reach and voter base to realistically compete for power. Among them, Bhum Jai Thai clearly pulled ahead. According to Election Commission data analyzed by news agency Reuters, Bhum Jai Thai won around 192 of the 500 parliamentary seats based on nearly 95% of polling stations counted. This is a dramatic jump from its previous performances, just 51 seats in 2019 and 71 in 2023. The People's Party, despite sweeping Bangkok, finished a distant second with 117 seats. Pheu Thai suffered its worst ever result, managing only 74 seats. So what does this mean for forming a government? Thailand's system requires coalition building unless a party wins an outright majority, and Bhum Jai Thai fell short of that threshold. But with 192 seats, Anutin Charnvirakul holds considerable bargaining power. One major hurdle has already been cleared. The People's Party has said it will not attempt to form a competing alliance. People's Party leader Nathapong Rungpongpanyawut openly accepted the outcome, saying his party is ready to move into opposition if Bhum Jai Thai can form a government.
As I have said, if the Bhumjai Thai party becomes a leading party tasked with forming a government and is able to do so, then we will have to perform our role as the opposition. As I have already stated, I cannot vote for a candidate from the Bhumjai Thai party. At this point, as I have explained, we are not the largest party. The process now is that the party with the most seats must be given the opportunity to proceed first with forming a government.
Beyond the three main parties, about a dozen smaller parties are expected to share 117 seats. The Glathum party alone secured around 57 seats, while Palang Pracharat won just 5. If Bhumjai Thai partners with Glathum and a handful of others, it can cross the majority mark with relative ease. Political analysts say Anutin's reputation as a careful but shrewd deal maker works in his favor. He has strong ties with conservative and royalist circles and is expected to attract support from smaller parties and defectors. A partnership with Pheu Thai is also possible, even though relations between the two broke down last year amid a dispute over Cambodia that led Bhumjai Thai to quit the coalition government. Anutin himself only became Prime Minister last September after Paitongtarn Shinawatra was removed from office by a court over an ethics violation related to her handling of relations with Cambodia. Facing the threat of a no-confidence vote, Anutin dissolved parliament in December and called a snap election. And the move now appears to have paid off. So how did he manage such a strong win? Anutin rode a wave of nationalism triggered by months of tension along the Cambodia border. He campaigned heavily on defending Thailand's sovereignty, presenting himself as a steady leader at a time of external threat. His rivals, by contrast, were portrayed as weak or out of touch with national sentiment. Despite being Prime Minister for fewer than 100 days before calling the election, Anutin moved quickly to strengthen his image. He brought in technocrats, recruited experienced politicians from other parties, and positioned Bhumjai Thai as a party capable of managing the economy. Experts say this is something voters felt neither the untested People's Party nor Pheu Thai had convincingly delivered.
Our hard work and our determination that we have all been working for our beloved country, despite having a not long period of time in our administration, but all the problems that would put Thailand into risk, we have had the right people to tackle all those problems, and we think Thailand is now in a steady state, and we look forward to moving on with even a stronger cabinet and government.
For many voters, security and the economy were closely linked. The conflict with Cambodia, which killed scores of people and displaced around 1 million on both sides, was fresh in people's minds. Soon after becoming Prime Minister, Anutin authorized the military to take whatever action it deemed necessary on the border. Thai forces took control of several disputed areas in December, and although a ceasefire is now in place, it remains fragile. Ordinary citizens say stability is the top priority.
I want the border areas to be peaceful first. Then the government can move on to solve other issues. If the borders are secure, the economy should be able to move forward.
Others are focused on everyday problems at home.
The election results didn't turn out the way I expected, and so I want them to fix traffic problems. As you can see, traffic congestion here, and I want them to develop better public transportation.
From a legal and political perspective, the results also reshape coalition mathematics in a significant way.
แต่ชัยชนะคราวนี้ผมเข้าใจว่าก็เกินคาด
I think Boomjatai's victory was beyond Anuthin's expectation. As we predicted, if Boomjatai wins the election, the People's Party is definitely going to be the opposition, where they would likely have to bring in Puthai to form a coalition. However, they won over 190 seats, and Klatam Party also have almost 60 seats. With these two parties together, they would already gain over 50%, a bit over 250 even, which means they could form a coalition government without the Puthai party.
แปลว่าเขาสามารถตั้งรัฐบาลโดยไม่มีพรรคเพื่อไทยได้
Markets have reacted positively. Thailand's stock exchange jumped more than 3 percentage points after the results. Baht strengthened, reflecting investor hopes that a clear winner could mean policy continuity. But questions remain. The current constitution, drafted under military rule after the 2014 coup, gives significant power to unelected institutions, limiting how much room any elected government truly has. So will this election deliver stability? Boomjaithai's strong mandate gives Anuthin a better chance than most recent leaders to form a durable government. Backing from conservative institutions and the military reduces the risk of sudden disruption. But long-term stability will depend on whether the new government can manage the economy, ease social tensions, and keep Thailand out of another cycle of political confrontation. That's all in this edition of Connecting the Dots. We'll see you in the next episode with more raging issues. Until then, it's a goodbye from all of us in the Delhi newsroom. This is Munmun Bhattacharya signing off. Take care and stay safe.